Thank you for tuning in to watch another video of BWTM Sports Gaming. Okay, so we're continuing with our Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez, or Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders look. Less than 24 hours after I said Billy Joe Saunders, it's unpredictable to see whether he's actually going to be part of this fight with Canelo. Less than 24 hours later, Billy Joe Saunders is back with another video. This video is with him wearing a I don't know what to describe it. He's wearing a kitchen overalls with his body, with the shape of a body on it, with all muscles on it, and you can see genitalia, basically a penis with balls attached to this costume or outfit that Mr. Saunders is wearing. And I get the comical side of it, and you know, Billy Joe Saunders is always the, you know, if you were in school, Billy Joe Saunders would be the practical joker in the class. He'd be the one that people would laugh at. He would be the one that if you had a downside or downtime, Billy Joe Saunders would be the guy in the class that would make you laugh. That's all well and good. So this video, you can see what he's saying in between the lines, you know, that, you know, Billy Joe Saunders is taking to fight for the money. It's a payday. He just has to. He's just going to show up. These are the things that people typically are going to write and say about Billy Joe Saunders. And basically, what he's basically saying in the video is almost to say, well, kiss my ass. I'm not going to just turn up for the money and just turn up for the payday and get rolled over. But there has been critical, right, and they're being constructively critical of a boxer or of anything, and they're just talking pure garbage. Now, in the case of Billy Joe Saunders, would it be right to say that Billy Joe Saunders has not fought anywhere near the class of a Canelo Alvarez? You would say probably he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Would you say that Billy Joe Saunders was a consummate pro? That, you know, he was the sort of role model. He's the sort of guy that you would say to young children, that's the way I want you to conduct your professional career as a boxer. You wouldn't. Would you say that Billy Joe Saunders is attracts attention for the wrong reasons? You would say that. Would you say that Billy Joe Saunders has done some things which have been, at times, seem almost bang out of order? Yeah, you could accuse him of those things. Could you say that Billy Joe Saunders has put himself in positions that, as a professional, you probably wouldn't want to put yourself in? Yeah, you'd probably say that. Would you say that Billy Joe Saunders has said some things that cringeworthy? Yeah, you'd probably say that. Yes. And he's done some things that's not been cool, right? So the criticism that would be put towards Billy Joe Saunders have not been things that have been pulled out the sky or pulled out your ass or made up. These are things that we've got visual evidence of. So the criticism that Billy Joe Saunders has got for those things have been unwarranted. Have been warranted, right? So if people say that Billy Joe Saunders is being criticised for no reason whatsoever, he's been picked on because he's a traveller, for example, then that's absolute nonsense. Yes, I know the travelling community does get a hard time. Yes, it does. But what Billy Joe Saunders does, you know, isn't cool. You know, I mean, Tyson Fury made some comments about his religious beliefs and how he felt about things, and we all knew eventually, as a matter of time, that he was going to say something that was going to go over the line, and we all saw what happened with that. And since Tyson's made his comeback, he's been carefully guided in what to say and what not to say. I think even John Fury himself has been guided into what to say and what not to say. Because obviously something's been said to both of them, that there's some things you just don't say. If you're going to say them, keep it behind closed doors. Make sure you're not caught on camera saying it. I think that's just the way of the world, not just the Furies. It's just the way of the world. But what we have here is a situation where Canelo is a consummate pro. He does everything right. Yes, we had the situation with him with the meat, but that is just the society we have today, particularly in boxing. When you're a highly paid athlete in boxing, there's one rule for you and another rule for everybody else. That's the rule for Canelo. Is he still cheating, Canelo? I don't know. Is all his wins genuine? Is he genuinely a super middleweight with that super middleweight power, or is he using growth hormones? I don't know. But who's going to talk about a guy that's generating so much money, and he is the pound for pound, and he's the face of boxing? Who's going to talk about it? Nobody. Because it just is what it is. This is the face. This is how they like it, and this is what it is. So they'll force it down our throats that Canelo is the best in the world, pound for pound number one. But, we will say he's never been undisputed. He hasn't fought the best guys in his division. He's hopped divisions. Question marks about the whole, PED thing with him and Golovkin. Fights with Lara where people thought, well, Lara may have beaten him. So there's things even about Canelo. Even though he's a consummate pro now and he's got a very tight-knit team and they've learnt by their mistakes and he got thoroughly outboxed and outpointed by Floyd Mayweather. And anybody who says, well, Canelo's improved from the Mayweather fight, the thing I would say to you all is this. Has he improved? Has he improved? Or has he just not fought a guy like Mayweather that's hit and hopped and moved? The way you find it, if he really has improved, is when he fights a guy that fights like Mayweather, that hits and hops and moves and shoulder rolls and makes you miss and makes you pay. And for the most part, all the guys Canelo's fought in recent times have been pretty flat-footed, stationary, stood in front of him, and he's teed off on and beat the crap out of. That's basically what it's been. If you want to be brutally honest, that's what it's been. Now, I'm not disrespecting Canelo. I'm just saying it as I'm seeing it. Okay? Is he one of the best in the world? Oh, absolutely. Is he in my top 3 or top 4? Absolutely. If you look at his resume and the guys that he's fought, you got Sugar Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto. The list goes on of fighters, former world champions, guys who are going to be Hall of Fame fighters. Canelo's got it there. You talk about guys like Canelo and Pacquiao. Those are guys who fought nearly everybody that's around at a certain time. Obviously, Canelo has yet to fight a Charlo again, or a Benavidez, or Charlo, Benavidez, or Andrade. But to be fair, guys like Andrade should fight guys like Golovkin, and I think Andrade should fight someone like Golovkin. That'd be nice. But Golovkin will never take a fight like that, because just like Canelo, both guys don't like movers, and Andrade is a bit of a mover and he's a bit of a spoiler, and they don't want that. And of course, that really isn't part of the Mexican game plan, is it now? The game plan is to become undisputed champion for Canelo, and it's about business. So in comes Billy Joe Saunders, who's up next, and he's trying to tell us that he's not in it for the money. He's up. He's genuinely going to come and give it a go, and he's going to give it his best shot. Well, that's all well and good, and he better do for his own sake and his own safety, because this is not Andy Lee, this is not Chris Eubank Jr., this is not Willie Lemon, this is not David Lemieux, this is Canelo Alvarez. This is business. This is serious business. Do you understand? And you have something that Canelo wants, and Canelo is determined to get a hold of it. And Canelo has picked you. You've not picked Canelo. Let's get something categorically clear here. You've not picked Canelo. Canelo's picked you. And when Canelo picks you, you have to be asking yourself the question, why is he picking me? Yeah, because I'm WBO champion and that. Why is he picking me? Well, let's look at your last 2 fights, Billy. Martin Murray and the fight with whoever that guy was before that. Was it impressive? The last impressive fight you had was against David Lemieux. And David Lemieux is never known for his boxing, but he's just known as an ignorant puncher. And those are not my words. That's by his former trainer, which I've got on an interview way back. That's why he left him. I can't remember. The guy who's... the guy owns Rival Boxing. I can't remember his name now, but you guys remember him anyway. But anyway, this fight, Billy Joe Saunders has now done this video. And I don't think that'll be the last of it. And it's all well and good putting these videos out and the person behind laughing, doing the videos. It's cool. But when you get in the ring, it's just you and Canelo. No more funny jokes, no more videos. It's serious business. This is where Saunders is going to find out what serious professional boxing has been about. He's been able to cut corners in the past. Look, on the video, he looks in great shape. So Saunders has had more time than Callum Smith to prepare. So it's not the case of him preparing for a fight. But has he got the power to stop Canelo? I don't think so. Is he gonna box in a way that Canelo's never seen before? I don't think so. I think when Billy gets in there, he's gonna find out just how good a fighter Canelo actually is. The way his upper body, see that upper body movement that Canelo has. I can see how that can put off fights where you're making a guy miss, making him pay. And you just have to look back at the Martin Murray fight. That was Billy Joe Saunders' last fight, and that was Billy Joe Saunders in shape. And he couldn't blow out, he couldn't get rid of Martin Murray. And Martin Murray's as tough as they come. But Martin Murray's not Canelo. Do you understand? Those blows that Canelo's going to be landing, they're going to be meaty and they're going to be hard. And it's business. Do you understand? And Billy has something that Canelo feels belongs to him. And Billy may put up some fight for it. But like I said before, I think when the heat is on, we saw in the Martin Murray fight, when the heat is on and things start getting nasty, and they will get nasty with Canelo, because he's going to come for it. And when he does come for it, starts landing blows, and Billy can't get out of the way of those punches, I believe we're going to see some nastiness. I expect to see him either get disqualified or get throwing low blows and stuff. I'm expecting that. But why would I not expect that? Look at the Martin Murray fight. So, but I just think to myself, you've got the fight, you've got the fight signed for May 8th. Why the hell would you go and do a video like that, Billy? What for? You got young people look up to Canelo. A lot of young people look up to Canelo. And now they have to sit down and watch. Oh, who's Canelo fighting next? And they see a picture or they see a video of Billy Joe Saunders doing what he's doing. It's not cool. It's not right. It's not right. Why would you put a video like that out? I don't get it. It's I can understand the funny side of it, but not for this. Not for this fight. But it's just me. What do I know? I'm just a guy who sits behind a keyboard, behind the screen and does videos. What do I know? What do I know? But I just don't think it's cool. And at least with this fight, at least this particular fight coming now, there's no excuses about Billy Joe Saunders not being in shape. There's no excuses of him not having enough time to prepare. Where are we now? March? Fights in May. How long have we known Billy Joe Saunders is going to fight Canelo before the Vildren fight, right? So he's had this whole year to prepare, since God knows how long to prepare. After the Callum Smith fight, I said to you, 2 guys were out in pasture, 2 sheep were out in pasture. One's already got pulled in, and you saw what he did with Callum Smith. And I actually think Callum Smith at super middleweight is more effective than Billy Joe Saunders. What fight has Billy Joe Saunders had? Are you saying that Martin Murray is the fight he's had to prepare him for Canelo? Don't know, man. I don't know. Billy Joe Saunders, like I said before, and somebody repeated in a video I did earlier, his best chance was after he fought Lemieux. Remember every fight Billy was fighting back to back to back. You can see he's getting his career in a certain way and moving. I always thought that Billy Joe Saunders' career would end up kind of like Joe Kazaki's, but because the inactivity, the injuries, kind of like Kazaki's career. But at least Kazaki ended his career fighting the likes of Hopkins and Roy Jones. I hope that Billy, for his own sake, is aware of what's ahead of him. He said something about Canelo's not unbeatable. That's true. Canelo's not unbeatable because he's already been beaten by Floyd Mayweather. But as you say, Floyd Mayweather is a special fighter. People may not appreciate it. But the more Canelo goes on his run, the more people might appreciate how special Floyd actually is. So, even to break down what you said there, Billy, about Canelo not being unbeatable. Well, he'll remain unbeatable if people don't prepare well for him, if people don't study the way he fights, if people don't come equipped to fight and beat him. You know, if you're coming to a fight with a pistol, and I'm coming to a fight with an AK-47, and I'm properly trained to use the AK-47, and you just learn how to use a pistol, you know there's a problem. There's a problem when we come into war, and that is the problem with most Canelo opponents. They're either not prepared, they haven't had time to prepare, they're just not good enough. You know, Canelo finds a way. He has learnt well from the master Floyd Mayweather how to pick opponents and how to take fights and when to take fights. He's doing an excellent job. Matchmaking, brilliant. And like I said, Billy didn't pick Canelo. Canelo picked Billy. And when Canelo's picking you, know that something's up right there. So, if Billy Joe Saunders, and you know, he's a tricky, foxy type of guy. I'm not saying that Canelo's going to go out there and just steamroll him in 2 rounds. No. But what I do expect is a sustained beating. That is what I expect. Once Canelo can time Billy, once he can suss what's going on, once he can say, right, I've got you. He's one of them type of guys. It'll take his time to have a look at you. But once he sees what's going on, and don't for one second get fooled by the whole Mexican act of Canelo where he's speaking Mexican. My man can speak good English, right? Just because that's an act, he can speak good English. Or good enough English. He understands everything you're saying and he can respond. And don't think for one second that Canelo's people don't know about Billy Joe Saunders. They have studied him to a T. They may not say anything, but they studied him. Just like Floyd. Floyd never said, I've been watching him for years. And Floyd never talked about the opponent. He talked about himself. But Floyd studied a person up and down, back to front. And that's why Floyd was the champion he was. He studied people back to front. He knew their strengths. He knew their weaknesses. And just like Canelo, he will have studied Billy Joe Saunders back to front, inside out. He'll know what Billy Joe Saunders can do. And he'll know what he can't do. So, and when you're with a consummate pro who's fought some great fighters, and let's not forget the resume of Canelo and the experience of Canelo. You know what I mean? And consistency. Not just fighting once a year or when you feel like it or being suspended for silly things. This guy's consistent. Consistency. I can't talk about it enough in boxing. Consistency. Boxing regularly. I really hope that Billy's got it together and understands that this is not the time to be the joker in the pack, but to step up and actually really put some respect in your own name, because at the moment people have got very little respect. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you for the most part, because, you know, if you can go out to America, I suspect that fight's going to be in America. Go out to America and fight in America, and you can put on a performance to say, you know what, you are one of the premier middleweights in the world. Really give Canelo a hard fight. Then that's how you can get respect back in your name, and you won't have to do the gimmicky things you're doing at the moment. But if you go out there against Canelo and get absolutely hammered by Canelo, as one person said in the comment section, that video is going to last a long time. It's not good. Really is not good. But there's still time. There's still time. Don't forget to rate, subscribe as always. Thank you so much in the comment section. Loving your comments in the comment section. Let's get more of your comments in there. And how do you think Billy Joe Saunders wins the fight? Somebody said in the comment section to me that they're putting a wager on Billy because he's a huge underdog. Yep. I get that. I understand that. But even I, with all my betting for the underdog, not this fight. I'm out. Take care.